Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Mollie. Mollie is from England in the UK. So let's see what Mollie has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello Mollie.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. I'm
good. I'm glad to see you. My goodness, been trying for a while.
I know. It's been in the works for so long.
It meant to be today for some reason.
Definitely.
So Mollie, tell me where you're from.
So I am from Derby originally, but I'm living in Kent right now.
And why Kent?
It was, I was living in Oxford, and then we just kind of fancied a change and we wanted to kind of be by the sea, and we have like a few people that we know in Kent, so we came to kind of see it and then kind of fell in love with it really, and then moved a few weeks later.
When you say we, you mean all your family?
Yeah.
Amazing. And what's the best part of living there so far?
I think it's being by the beach. I'm about 2 streets away from the beach, and just being able to kind of like walk there and everything is it's just gorgeous. And it's really, you know, like when your day's been quite stressful or something, to just be able to kind of walk along the seafront, it's very, very lucky to live here.
Amazing. Mollie, I know that you are an artist, you are in the business, the film industry business. So tell me a little bit about your career. I know you're very young, but you already have like a lot going on. So tell me a little bit about your career.
So I started acting, and then I was acting for a few years, and then I kind of, as I was acting, I realised like how much rejection there was in the industry and everything. So it's really weird because my first film, I cannot remember where the idea came from. I remember writing it, but I can't remember kind of what got me to that point. So I think it was kind of planted in my head and I needed to do it. And then I started making films and everything, and realised that I love directing, I love writing, and I've just kind of never looked back and just kind of went from there.
So right now, are you still studying or you already start your career professionally?
I've kind of done a little bit of both. I'm hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to be doing a kind of film degree soon. But I did career stuff at the same time, as well as kind of doing, I was doing kind of criminology and everything like that at one point, but now I'm trying to kind of make it where career and education wise are both film, if I can. Fingers crossed.
I'm sure. I think when you are doing something that you like, that you feel passionate about, you know what I mean, everything gets together at some point, you know? It's go around, and you're gonna find your path around the journey.
Definitely.
Mollie, before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, I would like to tell me something interesting about yourself.
Interesting. I have a ridiculous amount of books. Like it's getting beyond a joke now. It's kind of there are books all over my room, and I kind of have to put myself on a bit of a book buying ban, because I have a lot of books and it's very ridiculous.
Do you read every day?
Yes, all the time. Kind of. I don't really watch a lot of like TV shows and stuff, which is ironic because I make films, but I just don't seem to watch them. So whenever people would usually be watching stuff, I'm always kind of reading and everything, and it helps me like relax, I think, even though it's like crime and thrillers and everything like that. For some reason it just helps me relax.
I see as book as a companion, like is a nice way of, when you are reading, I think you just forget about the world, you forget about what's happening out there, you just connect with the book, and I think it's the best way of for you of relaxing, disconnecting, and just enjoying the moments. That's what I believe as well. At the same time, you are learning as well, and you are expanding your knowledge, I believe.
Definitely. Yeah, I love it.
Mollie, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views? Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. This is my best friend. Full of random questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question. Let's do it. Okay, Mollie, so before you start the game, during the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? All very friendly. First question for you is, what's your all-time favorite band and why?
Oh, definitely Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think my dad used to listen to them when I was a kid, and I kind of listened to them a bit then, and then as I got older I kind of got back into it. But every single album that they have made, there is kind of like a point in my life that I remember listening to it, if that makes sense. Absolutely. But yeah, I love them. Absolutely obsessed with Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Are they still on? They still touring or not? Are
they've just come out with a new album, actually. I think it was last week. I think it's all I've been listening to for the past week.
You know what? When I think about them, I remember a good friend of mine. She was fascinated about it. I remember back in Brazil, and I remember when we were going to school, and she was always listening to them. And I think she's the one who introduced me to them, because I just knew the name, but I didn't know the songs, I didn't know anything. And she kind of educated me a little bit about them. Kind of rock and roll, the way they were a bit rebellious at the time, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, okay, Red Hot Chili Peppers, I've always remember that. Yeah. What's your favorite song?
I think overall, that's so hard. I think overall, The Longest Wave, but most recently, from their most recent album, it's got to be Reach Out.
Why?
I don't know. There's something about it that I had to drive somewhere recently and I put it on, and it just kind of makes you feel like you're in a film. It's really fun. Absolutely.
And their style right now is the same of the old times, or they kind of change a little bit?
Yeah, it's kind of, I think that with their earlier albums, I always found that there was like loads and loads of songs that I'd really like, but there were one or two that I just didn't really understand. But I think that as they've kind of got older and everything, I think it's just got so much better. Like their most recent album, there isn't a song on there that I don't like.
Wow.
Yeah, but the fact that they're like in their 60s and they're still making music like they were when they're in their 30s is like insane. I think they're just like timeless.
It's very inspiration, isn't it, to see those people still doing the best of they've done all their lives. I think it's very inspirational.
Definitely.
Next question. Hey, Mollie, next question for you is, what does money mean to you?
What does money
mean to you?
I don't think it means something in the sense of, you know, we live in a world where you can't really do things without having to either have money or encounter money or something like that. But I think I've known people before that have wealth and that have money and everything, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're happy. So I think that money is one thing, and then wealth is something completely different. I don't think that you're wealthy if you've got a lot of money, but I think if you are happy and you have a lot of like wonderful people in your life and everything, and you love a lot of people, then I think that is kind of wealth to me, and that means so much more than money could.
You believe that money can bring happiness?
No, I don't. It's difficult because it can enable experiences that may make you happy, but I think money itself doesn't. I think that maybe more people would be able to be happy if kind of money worries was taken away. But I don't think that it would be able to kind of like make someone happy, if that makes sense. But that's just me. I don't know.
No, it's your opinion, and it's interesting. A few months ago, I had a friend of mine from Canada. He was over for the weekend, and we were around London. And you were in Greenwich Park at the time, and you were talking about money. You were talking about the magic box, about ideas, and I made a joke. I said, okay, the magic box is gonna get me a millionaire. I'm gonna become a millionaire because of the magic box, like as a joke, like talking about it. And he was like, oh, it's good to think this way. And I said, and after that, I've got other plans that's gonna make me a billionaire. And he said something that I never forget. He said, if you become a billionaire, I don't think you're a good person anymore. And he made me think about, wonder this thought, you know what I mean? He was okay when I said a millionaire, but when I said, okay, but I've got something that's gonna get me over like a billionaire, it was like, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think you're going to be a good person if you become a billionaire. And we kind of just talk, a little bit more about it, but we didn't kind of get a conclusion. But this little comment he made I just took to my head, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it comes down to money. I think sometimes money, it's a safe place. As you said, you need money to live, you know what I mean? We cannot live without money. But you need to use it in a good direction, a good way, because if you get lost because of money, that's when it's not a good thing, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
And when this gets a lot of money, of course, I think you need to be very mentally prepared, because you can easily get lost because it's a lot of money, I believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next question. Let's do it. Before the next one, tell me what's the best part of being a filmmaker, and what's the most challenging part?
I think the best part is the people that you meet. The fact that you can kind of, normally what happens is that you'll kind of be like exchanging emails and everything and working out everything like that, but you've never actually met each other, nor have you ever kind of really sat down and had a conversation. It's just been emails. And I always find it so brilliant, the fact that you can go from knowing nothing about each other to like be filming for a day, and it's like you've known each other for years by the end of that day. So definitely the people that you meet. And I think the most challenging is almost like imposter syndrome for me anyway. I always find that it's almost like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like I worry that other people might think more of me than I am, if that makes sense. And it's always difficult, because when you've got this idea and when it means something to you and everything like that, you always kind of, even though it's your idea and even though the only expectation is on you, you still kind of worry a little bit that you're not going to make it like the best it can be. And then it's kind of, the thing is as well is that with actors and everything, when they come on board with a project, it always means so much to me because it means something to them. And the fact that they've kind of taken an idea that I've had and made it meaningful for them, it's almost, I mean, it's wonderful, but it kind of adds a little bit more pressure as well, because it's like you want to make it the best for them that you can. If it was just me on my own, then it wouldn't like matter as much. But when there's other people involved, you want to make the whole situation the best that it can possibly be. So I think I get a bit of imposter syndrome in situations like that.
Walk me through on a day that you are working a project. Since you wake up until the end of your day, walk me through one busy day for you when you are working a project.
So normally it will start with a idea. And it will just kind of like pop into my head, and then and then I will kind of sit down and write. Sometimes I have to kind of do like a film that I'm going to be doing in the future that is kind of a more historical kind of film. So I'm not going to be able to just kind of sit down and write it. I'm going to have to contact a lot of people and have a lot of meetings and everything and get all of the history and make sure that it's kind of right. But normally I just kind of sit down and write it. And then once you've got all of that done and once you've edited the script and everything, then you can start kind of emailing people that you know or putting casting calls out. And then it's planning for filming once you've got the cast, and then it's filming. It's normally about 2 days for kind of, I think my first film was 4 days, but I think everything else has been 2 days. And then it's editing. I'm in the editing stage now and it's never ending.
It's funny when I started doing the Magic Box, and I of course I reach out to a lot of people around the world, as I'm doing still, and of course the idea was there, and I contact this lovely guy from Vienna. He's a TV producer, and actually he's the one who created the name William the Magic Box. He suggested the name, and long story short, I said to him, "Oh my God, I love like connecting with my guests, like doing this interaction, but I never done editing before. I'm not a professional editor. I don't know how." When I was so scared to touch it, to be in it, and he said to me, "William, trust me, you're gonna like it, editing." And I was like, "No, I don't think so. It's too much, like, you know, on your own, spend time. You need to be there on your own." Guess what, Molly? I love it. I love editing. Do you know why? Because when I do the interview here, I'm so connected with my guests that I just be myself. I just, you know, talk and connect with my guest. But when I edit it, that's where I see the interview properly. That's where I see the best part of the interview, and also bad things that I say, things that I go like, "Oh my God, I don't believe I said that. Oh my God, I don't believe I said this way." So yes, I think all part of the journey of creating something is fascinating. Of course, some of them is more kind of joy, some of them is more kind of, but you need to do it, and it's part of it because it makes you more and more into it.
And I think I'm really lucky in the sense of I can edit it myself as well. So when I'm filming it, I film it knowing that I'm going to edit it, if that makes sense. I think I'd really struggle to kind of send it off to someone because I wouldn't know what to do, because I wouldn't know how to film it without knowing that I was going to edit it. But yeah, it's such a brilliant feeling to be able to kind of watch it at the end and know that that's that done and you've done it and everything. It's really fun.
Absolutely. Molly, next question for you is, what was your best friend's name growing up, and why did you consider this person as your best friend at the time?
Oh, my friend growing up was a girl called Faith, who I'm still friends with now. We met when we were, I think I was 6 and she was 7. And where did we meet? I think we met because our mums met each other or something like that, and then it just so happened that we met as well. But yeah, and then we kind of like grew up together, and then I moved when I was about 8 or 9, I think, and then like we kept coming back and everything. I haven't seen her in a good amount of time, I think about 3 years, so I think it's about time that I go and see her. But she's in Lincolnshire, so it's really, really far away, but I'm sure that we'll make it work and everything. But yeah.
She'll be very happy to watch this interview now and know that for sure. Yeah. Next question, Molly, let's do it. Okay, Molly from Kent, next question for you is, what is your favorite place in the entire world and why?
Oh, that's a really good question. Where is my favorite place? Trying to think of where I've been. I think Oxfordshire will always like have a place in my heart, because that's like that's where everything, it was when I moved there that I like started making films and everything, so that's kind of like where it started. So I think that will always be a special place for me. Yeah, and here as well in Kent. I really like Kent. I'd never been before we moved, so I didn't know anything about it, but yeah, there's a lot of places that we've been like exploring and everything, and yeah, I really like it here.
And do you see yourself living there for a long while?
I think so, yeah. I think my family feel the same way as well. It's kind of, it feels very like homely, and there seems to be so much to do and so much to see and everything, and yeah.
And for your career, for your business, it's a good place, or you can kind of switch, you can go to different places?
No, it's really good. I was a bit worried when I moved, because I knew no one kind of in the industry here. So I thought, oh no, what am I going to do? Like, because I had no idea what it was like here, because I thought it's very kind of south. And I thought, oh, you know, is it going to be like really out of touch from everywhere else if it's really far away from everything? But there are so many people that I've met since I've been here, and so many people that I've like connected with and everything. And the film industry in Kent is massive, and I had no idea. Wow,
very interesting. I didn't know that, actually. You just made my day now. Learned something new. I didn't know that Kent is a place that we can find a lot of opportunities as well in this business.
Yeah, it's really, it seems to be that, I think it's because it's quite close to London, so I think maybe a lot of people who work in London live in Kent because the commute's easy. But yeah.
Interesting. Good one. Next question. Before the next one, tell me, when was the moment that you thought, okay, I was born to be an actress or to work in the film industry? There was a moment. And also, did you always have the support of your family?
I think the moment was possibly not right at that point, but the thing that started it was I watched an episode of Doctor Who when I was about 10, I think, and I saw Rachel Talalay listed under director, that she had directed the episode, and it was kind of the first time that I realised, I mean, I kind of knew a little bit, but it was the first time that I'd seen it myself, that like a woman could work as a director or in the film industry or something. So I was like, oh, okay, that's something that I'd like to do. And then it just kind of went from there. And then it was the first day that I was filming my first film. It was when like I'd said bye to everyone and everything, and I got home and I sat there and I thought, this is me now. This can be the rest of my life. And family wise, yeah, they've always, even like before acting, before filming, before everything like that, anything that I've kind of wanted to do, they've always supported me in it, even if it was really ridiculous and out there. Like, I used to want to be a gymnast and I was terrible at gymnastics. Absolutely awful, but they were still behind me and kind of cheering me on and everything. So yeah, I'm very, very lucky. Like, just recently we were filming in my house and everything, and my parents just kind of let me do it and everything, and I'm so lucky that I've got a family that can kind of support me and allocate me kind of doing things, if that makes sense, because it makes all of the difference in the world, really.
Totally. I think having your parents support, it's a big plus. You feel safe. You feel like you can be yourself and just try the best you can, because they're going to be there always for you. For sure. Next question is, did you have imaginary friends as a child, and what was their name?
I think I did. I think I used to have an imaginary friend called Carla, and I think she was based off of the character in Coronation Street, actually. And then I think there was also one called Jake, but my mum said that I used to have like arguments with Jake on like the phone. So maybe I didn't like Jake so much, but yeah, I think it was Carla and Jake.
And do you have siblings as well?
Yes, yeah, I've got a sister.
And she's the same business or a totally different business as yours?
Oh no, she's 9.
Oh, sweet. Find her way still.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but she does editing as well, and she's I'm very, very proud of her with what she's doing with that and everything. And she makes like videos of bands and everything. And yeah, wow. So she's I can see like little signs of, I'm going to make you a filmmaker one day.
For sure. I think seeing you doing your best and your joy, for sure, she feels inspired, for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope so.
Next question. Okay, Mollie from England. Next question is, if you could change something in yourself or about yourself, what that would be and why?
I think I would maybe make myself less stressed, if that makes sense. I seem to stress myself out about things that don't necessarily need to be stressed out about, and then it can sometimes taint things, and it can sometimes mean that I don't enjoy things so much. So I think that maybe if I could just make myself relax a little bit more. I'm working on it, like it's a work in progress, but I think that I would be I think I'd be able to enjoy things more if I didn't stress out so much about it, because I think that can sometimes just ruin things when the stress doesn't necessarily need to be there. So I think if I just maybe not be as control freaky, if that makes sense, just take a step back and let things do what they need to do, and not have to focus on it so much.
I think just the fact that you know that you already have halfway of the journey, you know what I mean? It's just knowing that, you recognize yourself. Saying that, and what's the best part of being yourself, in your opinion?
I think, I'm not sure. I think I'm quite passionate, if that makes sense. So like whenever I have an idea or something like that, or whenever somebody asks me to do something for them, then I will be very passionate about that, and I'll always try and make situations the best that they can for people. So yeah.
Good one, very good. 3 questions left for you. Let's do it, Mollie. Next question is, what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
I want to go to Anne Frank House in Amsterdam. That's very, very high up on the bucket list. I've always wanted to go there. What else? I'd like to visit Auschwitz as well, which obviously I know is going to be difficult and everything like that, but I think it's something that I've always read about growing up, and it's always something that I've felt not passionate isn't the right word. I've always felt connected to it, if that makes sense, because of how much I've read about it and everything like that. So to visit somewhere like that would, it's something that I feel like I need to do, if that makes sense. And then what else? I think I'd love one day to be able to get to the BAFTAs, even if it's just being a cleaner or something it doesn't have to be anything, but to get to the BAFTAs, that would be insane.
And I can't wait to see you there in the big screen and clap, because I'm sure it will happen. My goodness, I got goosebumps now. I'm sure. I can't wait. And I'll be there. I'll be like, my God, we talk about that. So amazing. Which one do you think is going to happen the first?
I I hope Anne Frank House. I'd like to plan kind of like a birthday trip to Amsterdam or something at some point. I think that would be quite a cool thing to do. But yeah, hopefully that one. It's kind of, but I know that you have to book quite far in advance, so maybe I should do that and then it's booked and then I know that I can go.
Wow. 2 questions left for you. Let's do it. It's funny you say about the BAFTAs. I used to work in a hotel, a 5-star hotel a few years ago. And during the BAFTAs, you have no idea, like celebrities come to the hotel. Mm-hmm. I met Meryl Streep, like literally it was me and Meryl Streep in a bedroom. I'm never gonna forget. I never thought one day in my life I would do just me and Meryl Streep in a bedroom. Can you imagine? I was doing room service and I came to bring the breakfast. When she opened the door, I was like, wow, like she just made my entire year, just this moment we had together. I couldn't believe. Anyway, I remember as well once, you know this actress, English, Carey Milligan, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know her.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Carey Milligan, her name. Anyway, I remember I was working during the nights at this time, and it was the BAFTAs nights. And so she won the BAFTAs as best actress. I don't remember which role she was playing, but I remember like it was 3 o'clock in the morning. We had this duty to put all the newspapers outside the doors of the bedrooms. And she was literally in all the covers of the newspapers, yeah? And she was staying in the hotel. And she came back a bit like, it was 4 o'clock in the morning with her producer, people, her friends. Mm-hmm. And I remember she was so sweet. She came, she was like, oh, look, we won the BAFTAs. And she was so like tearful, like so I could see her happiness, like just enjoying. And I almost told her, I was like, you have no idea, you are in the covers of all the newspaper of the day. But I said, no, I'm not going to say anything. But I felt so much like saying that because I could see how happy she was to get the BAFTAs. But I was close to say, yes, I can see you are happy and you have no idea, you are the cover of all the newspapers around the world right now. Saying that, let's pretend now that you have the big budget, yeah, to do a production like a short movie, where you can pay the 2 like couple actors, like an actor, an actress to play, and also their children or their a girl and a boy as well. Mm-hmm. It's like, as you say, like as a horror movie or something like that. Mm-hmm. So which one would you choose? You have the biggest budget. You know, you can pay anyone, and also you can pay any director as well to work along with you.
Mm-hmm. So I think if it was drama, then I'd say David Tennant, because David Tennant is just insane. But if it was a comedy, I'd really love to see Louis Theroux act. I think he'd be amazing because I don't think you'd even have to give him a script. Like, he could just be himself and it would be funny. But I think if I'm going with drama, then I'd say David Tennant. Who else? I think Jodie Comer. I think it's got to be like Millie Bobby Brown or someone. She's so massive at the moment. And then director, that's difficult. I think either Rachel Talalay, because she is like the person who got me into directing and everything just from seeing what she's done, or Philip Barantini. I think those 2, I would absolutely die if I met them.
I never know. Let's wait and see.
Hopefully.
Next question for you is, share with us a crazy story that happened to you when you were a child at school.
Oh, God.
Crazy or fun? Did you like school, by the way?
No, I hated it. Absolutely hated it because of that girl. Actually, I got relentlessly bullied at school.
Oh my God.
What happened at school? It wasn't at school, but it was around like when I was school age. So I was homeschooled for a little bit. And it was around when I was school age, and my mum still talks about this now. I was in a park, and I was about 9, I think. I was in a park, and my mom had said, kind of go over there and I'll take a picture of you. So I went over there, and then I could hear something like rustling around at my feet, and I didn't look down. I just ran towards my mum, and it was this little tiny Westie, and it was yapping at my feet, and I started crying because I thought it was going to bite me, and I thought it was like a Rottweiler because I hadn't looked at it so far. So I get to my mum and I'm crying, there's like tears streaming down my face, she's absolutely howling, and I look back and it's just this tiny little dog that just wanted to play with me. Like it did not want to bite me at all, but in my head there was like this massive Great Dane chasing me. But that was, I mean, that was more embarrassing than it was kind of crazy. But yeah, there were a lot of things that happened at school that didn't involve me, but were very, very weird. My school was a very, very weird school. There were a lot of rumours and a lot of things that happened that I don't know whether are true, but yeah, it was very odd.
Amazing. Ready for the last one?
Mm-hmm.
Last question, let's do it. But before the last question, Mollie, when I was checking your profile a little bit, I could see that you're part of a documentary or something on BBC that they did an interview with you regarding something about, I don't remember exactly what was the topic, but it was something very powerful. Can you share something about it?
It was when we were filming the second film that I've done that was called Brooke, and that was about when I was getting bullied at school, and then I was very, very lucky that BBC came to kind of film us filming and interviewed me about kind of about the bullying and about the cyberbullying and everything, and kind of what kind of led me to make the film. So yeah, that was really, really exciting.
Wow. Saying that, Mollie, if you had the power of erasing that period of your life that you went through as a child, would you do it or would you keep it, knowing the person you are today?
Oh, I definitely keep it. Definitely keep it. I think if you asked me during, then I'd probably say yeah, but no, definitely keep it, because I think with things like that, it makes you a better person. I don't know what kind of person I'd be had that have not happened. And I don't know where I'd be, because I wanted to start making films about things that kind of affect young people in the hope that like they wouldn't feel alone. Because when I was getting bullied, I felt very like, even though my family knew and everything, even though I had a wonderful family behind me, it kind of, there was no one else at school that I could talk to and everything like that. So I did kind of spend a lot of time feeling very alone about it. So I think without that happening, I don't know whether I'd be doing the things that I'm doing now.
Amazing. I'm glad to hear that. And also, I'm sure that girl that, gave you a hard time at the time, I'm sure nowadays you feel grateful to her, because she was a big part of your life right now, because even not knowing, she was literally making you stronger and going, building the person that you are today. So I think that's the good part. When you look back, you go like, you know what, that was necessary. Yeah, you know what I mean? It wasn't easy for sure, but looking back now, it meant to be.
Yeah, and I think it kind of backfired on them a little bit, because it
for sure.
I'm really glad that it happened, and I'm glad that, I mean, at the time, obviously, when things like that happen, not even bullying, but like anything difficult that happens, you're kind of wading your way through it and you're thinking, oh my God, like this is awful. But it's only when you're kind of out the other side that you realise how impactful and kind of influential it was into making you who you are. And I think if you had a completely easy life and your life was completely plain sailing and nothing bad ever happened, then you wouldn't really be much of a person, because you've got nothing to kind of build yourself up off. So yeah, I'm very glad that happened.
Imagine if the life was just flowers, blue skies, good weather. You wouldn't learn anything. It would be boring one day. So I think those challenging times, they are necessary, for sure.
Definitely.
Last question is, what's the worst advice have you ever given?
That I've ever given or that I've ever been given? I think it was probably to my mum recently. I think she was stressed out about something and I said, oh, don't be stressed. Like, I think I do that quite a lot. I don't mean to do it. I just kind of I'm not very good at knowing what to say when people are kind of upset or something. I'm especially over text. In person, I'm absolutely fine, but over text, I have no idea what to say. So a lot of the time, I'm just like, don't be sad, which obviously isn't great. But I think it's so much more difficult to kind of make sure that somebody's okay over text than it is when they're in front of you. But yeah, I can be quite. I think I can be a little bit straight to the point sometimes, and I don't mean to be. I just kind of say what I think and then think about it later.
I see. All right. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game.
Money.
Wealth.
Family.
Friends.
How about love?
Together.
Life.
Love.
Religion.
Faith.
Politics.
Shambles.
Fear.
Scared.
Friendship.
Love.
Desire.
Want.
Regret.
Life.
Success.
Happiness.
One word for wish.
Faith.
Happiness.
Love.
You said the name of your hometown is Derby. Yeah. One word for Derby.
Home, I think.
Or one word for Kent.
Sunny.
How about England?
Home again, I think.
Okay, one word for writer.
Creative.
One word for director.
Happiness.
Producer, one word.
I was going to say stress, but I think it's more, it's good stress. It's busy stress.
One word for acting.
Fun.
And the last one now, filmmaker, one word.
I think happiness as well.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely sister and I'm going to ask her, tell me the most beautiful thing about Mollie and tell me something that she still needs to work on, to improve on. What should I say?
I don't know what she'd say. I think the thing that she'd say that I need to work on is that I'm very sarcastic. I'm probably not very good with children because I don't have much of a filter with kids and I don't really know what to say to them. So I'm very sarcastic towards her, and she'll probably say that I need to kind of work on that. But I think she'll say that, I don't know. I think she'd say that I was kind. I really hope that she'd say that. But yeah, I think that that's what she'd say. But if she didn't, then...
Oh my God, Mollie, oh my goodness. If I would ask the same question to your best friend, would be the same answer?
I think it would depend on who you asked, because I've got two friends who are very, very different from one another. But I think if you asked one of them, I think she'd probably say that I need to work on everything and there's nothing good about me, because she's very harsh.
It's a good friend.
Yeah. But I think my other friend, who is a little bit nicer, I think she'd say that I need to...
I like that, a little bit nicer.
Yeah, I think she'd say that I need to not burn myself out so much, because she's always telling me to kind of take time off and everything. And then I think good thing she'd say, I hope that she'd say that I was kind as well, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
They will tell you during the interview, they're gonna go like, yes, you're right. Or maybe they'll go like, no, you're so wrong about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hear that. Let's play now Mollie and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Mollie, you can ask me a question now.
What is your favorite book?
Okay, I love the question. Right, when you're saying about reading, I'll tell you something now. I love reading as well, but I have a problem with reading, which is for me to read, to get my attention to the book, I need to be alone. I need to be like literally quiet time. For example, I cannot read in the bus. I cannot read if I'm traveling somewhere. Actually, on the airplanes, I can. For some reason, I can read in airplanes. But for example, if I go to work on the train, on the tube, I can't. I need to be concentrated, which is a shame, because the only time that I can read properly is when I go to bed. And that time, I fall asleep most of the time. So anyway, but one of the books that I loved is The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. I don't know if you heard of it. The Alchemist. It's a very powerful book that I think I read 2 times. I read it. And I read different times of my life, and I could see a different picture of the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, The Alchemist is a book that it gave a big impact. It's very spiritual as well, and I think that it's one of the books that I want to read it again, because it's been a while now that I read the last time, and I'm sure I'm gonna see a different message in the book. You know what I mean? Sometimes you read a book, and when you read a different part of your life, you see a different message in there. So The Alchemist is a book that, have you read it?
No, it's very, very high up on my list though, because there's a lot of people that I know that have read it that really liked it, and it sounds kind of like my kind of thing and something that I do. So yeah, it's very high up.
Are you reading a book right now? Which one is your bed table?
I'm reading 2 right now, actually. I'm currently reading Daisy Jones and the Six, Taylor Jenkins Reid. That's kind of, it reminds me a little bit of Red Hot Chili Peppers, actually, where it's like about this band during the 70s, and I don't know whether I feel like they're a real band, but I don't think they are, but that just shows like how amazing she's written it. But it's almost like they're being sat down for like a documentary, and they're telling about their whole lives and everything, and that's amazing. And I started reading last night Tuesdays with Maury as well, and that is like a true story about a man who found out that his college professor had a terminal illness. So he would go and see him every Tuesday, and his professor would kind of give him life lessons and everything. And I've nearly cried quite a few times.
Oh, wow.
I never cry at books. I never cry at TV shows or anything like that. I've got like heart of stone with stuff like that. But yeah, it's really, really impactful. Because I think a lot of the time it's only when we're faced with things like that it kind of puts things into perspective and everything. And yeah, it's a brilliant book. I think it's going to be one of my favorites, actually, when I finish it.
Usually, how long does it take for you to finish when you start reading a book, usually?
I think normally about 3 or 4 days, normally. And then if it's like a massive 500-page book or something, then it will normally take me about a week or something. But normally kind of general book size, I'd say about 3 or 4 days. And
the maximum, you can read 2 books at the same time, or sometimes you read more?
I think just 2. I think that's the max that I can do. Else I just get confused and I can't remember who the characters are or anything. But I'll sometimes read kind of a short one if I feel kind of like a little bit bored and I feel I'm kind of going into a bit of a slump reading wise. I'll kind of read a short book to kind of get me out of it and then go back to them. But yeah, I think 2 is like the maximum that my brain can allow.
And even when you don't connect with the book for some reason, it's not something that you're expecting, do you still finish it, or you can stop in the middle of it?
I think if it's my book that I own, then I'll usually kind of leave it for a bit and then go back to it. But if it's like a library book or something, I feel the need to kind of like finish it, because I'm like, what if it gets really good at the end? And it never does. But then I know that I've got to like take it back to the library, so I can't really go back to it. So yeah, I feel the need to finish it, even if it's awful.
Very good. Mollie, did you enjoy the interview?
I did. Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Oh, thanks so much for taking the time. My God, it's so fascinating. I'm talking to you. We are so young, and I feel like I'm talking to someone like older than your age, because you're so wiser, you're so well spoken, you know, you have this open-minded, and I think it's fascinating to see someone so young and you know what you want and you are going to it, you know, you are literally living what you meant to live, your life. And I think it's beautiful. It's so fascinating. When I was talking to you, actually, I had a feeling that okay, she's going to be very, very very good when she's going to talk, because she, as I said, you are 18, you said you are 18 years old. My goodness. I'll never look, if I didn't know that you're 18, just talking to you, I'll never say that you're 18 years old, literally.
Thank you.
Anyway, keep this way, because I'm sure you're going to go very far, for sure. I think the determination that you have and the support of your family as well, I have no doubt. And I can't wait to go back to the interview in 10 years time, and I'll go like, wow, that's crazy. I'm glad you connected. But before you go, if you can share a positive message, something that you live by.
It was something that I saw recently on Twitter, actually. And it was odd, because I never go on Twitter, but I just kind of went on and I saw this, and I'm going to try and remember it and paraphrase it. But it was something along the lines of, don't attach yourself to people or a place or a thing or an object or an idea. Attach yourself to a passion and attach yourself to what that makes you feel. So everything, like, people can come and go, places can come and go, but that passion that you have for something, that can always be kind of running along your life. And you can evolve with that and everything. I found that about 3 days after I moved house, I think, and it made a lot of sense to me, because I don't know, it was just kind of like no matter what happens, no matter where you are, you can still have that passion, you can still have that kind of feeling of what something makes you feel. And I think that no matter what happens around you, that will always be there.
Absolutely. My God, very powerful. That I totally believe. I think you focus what you like, focus what it gives you joy and passion as well. The rest, as you said, they're gonna come, they're gonna go, they're gonna leave message, they're gonna leave memories. But if you focus what you meant to focus, there you go far away.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks so much. Regards to your family, and you keep in touch. It was a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you. It was wonderful to meet you.
Take care, Mollie. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why do you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.